Through the years, I've picked up quite a few hobbies. Some hobbies I still do today, while some not so much. Honestly, I think it's pretty normal for someone to have multiple hobbies and sometimes having multiple hobbies all at the same time. I mean, as we go through different phases in life, as we get older, encounter different experiences, our interests change and so does our situations, and we start exploring different avenues and exploring different hobbies. And as an adult, I think it's much more easier to explore a new hobby as opposed to when we were younger children, because as children, we were pretty much restricted to the hobbies that were readily available to us. But as adults, having control over your own finances, having more freedom and independence, we can pretty much pick up whatever it is that we want to pick up. And the only thing that's stopping us is, quite frankly, ourselves. If you want to learn music, you can go ahead and buy a new instrument if you want. If you're interested in content creation, you start documenting or creating content. Or sports, about 2 months ago, I picked up running as a new hobby. And so far, I'm loving it. For most people, one of the killers of their hobbies is time. As you get older, more responsibilities, you start to lose time doing the things you love. And I'm not immune to that. But for me, there's another prevalent reason why I stopped doing these hobbies. And I find myself reaching this point before I actually lose time for them. At first, I love doing these hobbies. But slowly, I start to hate them. I think it's fair to assume that most people want to get better at their hobbies, but a bit too much or an extreme focus on getting better can be a bit toxic and unhealthy. Aside from wanting to get better at doing my hobbies, I have this mindset of always needing to be better than my previous efforts, always giving it 101%. And if I don't surpass my previous efforts, it equates to failure in my head. Honestly, I don't really know what the root cause of this mindset in my head, but I have a theory. See, when I was younger, I did pretty well in the academics. I had family members, relatives always saying that I'm a smart kid. And receiving that compliment when I was young, it sort of became my identity. And I always wanted to prove them right, that what they're saying about me is true. And I did that. I did my best in everything. But when school ended, I think that mindset spilled over to everyday life. And unconsciously, I started to see my hobbies as sort of exams. And having that association with exams, it associated that I need to be perfect at my hobbies. I need to be really good at them, because if I'm not getting better, if I'm not improving, I'm not excelling at these hobbies, then what's the point of doing them? And at first I started a hobby just for fun, and then next thing you know, I have this drive to get really good at it, and I start having these elaborate plans in how I can get better. I start setting these goals, which oftentimes are very unrealistic goals. And I sort of put myself through this rigorous training regime to accomplish that goal. Like playing the guitar. One of my hobbies is doing covers of different songs. But what stops me from actually making covers is this mindset that I need to be a really good musician and learn a song by ear. And I shouldn't be looking at chords online or looking at tabs, and that sort of equates to cheating. So I need to listen to this song by ear, and once I learn that song, that's the only time I can make a cover. But lo and behold, it's not that easy. And what happens is I get nothing done. And that's the same story for all of my other hobbies. I work myself up, with these unrealistic goals, and I end up burning myself out without accomplishing much, and I start to hate the very thing I loved in the beginning. A few weeks ago, I saw this running coach from the Philippines, and in one of his reels, he was running a 60-kilometer ultramarathon. He was filming himself and he was having a good time, even though it was really a rigorous task. Towards the end of the video, and he says this at the end of each of his reel, he says, "One foot in front of the other, celebrate small victories, and always be proud of yourself." It's an amazing quote, but that's not the kicker for me. After he says that line, he pats himself in the back and gives out this big smile to the camera. I don't know why, but it was that 2-second of a gesture in the end of his videos that really hit me.
Some people will say they have to be obsessed to excel, but more than being an amazing runner, I just actually want to be an amazing human being. One foot in front of the other. Celebrate small victories. And always be proud of yourself.
This guy just ran a crazy ultramarathon, but at the end of it all, he was still smiling and he was happy. And even during the ordeal, he was happy. He was documenting everything, he was smiling, he was having a good time. And that's when it hit me. See, when I'm doing my hobbies, I'm not having a good time because I'm making it miserable for myself to actually do these hobbies, to the point that I stopped doing them because I really hate it, because in my mind, the feeling of being miserable has been associated with that hobby. I mean, the beginning of this video, I said the only thing that's stopping us from exploring different hobbies is ourselves. And aside from that, the only thing that is holding me back from actually loving these hobbies is also myself. Because I've been putting up these barriers, putting up these unrealistic expectations, and it's just crippling me before I even get started.
4.8 kilometer run today for my training. Been running probably 4.8 every Tuesday.
Hobbies are not supposed to feel like work. Hobbies are supposed to be escapes from the different stresses of life. I mean, there's already enough stressful things in the world, and our hobbies should be that happy escape that we can go to whenever we need a break from whatever it is that we're facing. I'm starting to realize that I don't need to be good at my hobbies to do them. I don't need to be really good or a pro or an expert in order to do something. I don't need to be the best. I can suck at a hobby. I could be really good. I could be okay, and I could be bad. I could be really bad at a hobby, and all of that doesn't matter. All that matters is I'm having fun while I'm doing these hobbies. And it shouldn't make my life more miserable.
Just finished a 7.3 kilometer run. Pace, not the best. I'm about 10-15 seconds slower than my previous record, but that's all right. I don't have to give it 100% all the time. Just slow progress and slow progressions, small steps to get to that goal. One foot in front of the other, one step at a time.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. And if you have a similar story, or if you have a YouTube channel where you also share your stories, please let me know in the comments and I'd love to check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.